Ladies and gentlemen, the following podcast is set for one episode. Your host from Columbus, Ohio, is Michael Kirk. Welcome to the Outlaw Mudcast. Hello and welcome to the Outlaw Mudcast, your digital audio dirt sheet for all things Supershow. Kickstarter campaign update. With 10 days left in the campaign, for Supershow the Comic, Issue 7, The Plot Twist, 104 backers have pledged $12,818. Going from memory, I think the last time I gave an update at the end of last week's show, we had about 80 backers, and it was just over $12,000. So about $800 more have been pledged, from about 15 more backers, give or take. While the dollar amount pledged has gone up and the number of total backers has gone up, these numbers have not gone up enough to unlock the next stretch goals. The next funding goal, $15,000, unlocks the Pedro Valiant competitor set. The next backer goal, the only backer goal, 150 backers, unlocks the Phoenix Reborn competitor set. We are still pretty far away from achieving those goals. Now, as far as the tiers still left, there has not been a change in the limited tiers. There's still one cameo tier remaining to get drawn into issue 7. $149 for that. There's still one half-page spotlight in the comic tier left, $449. And there are still 2 full-page spotlights in the comic tiers available, $749. If all of those tiers are met, that will get us another $2,096 pledged to the campaign, which is almost enough to meet those goals. While we are still pretty far from the next funding goal, if those tiers go, we won't be that far at all. The backer goal, we're still quite a bit a ways from. As far as the unlimited tiers go, for all 7 issues of the comic, 9 people have backed at that tier. For the comic alone tier, 1 person has backed. For just Supershow cards tier, 24 people have backed. And for the comic and cards tier, 40 people have backed at that tier. So, in the unlimited tiers, the tiers with Supershow cards are receiving the most pledges. Once again, $12,818 have been pledged for Supershow the Comic, issue number 7, The Plot Twist, from 104 backers. 10 days remain in the campaign. It will end Thursday morning, April 24th, 10:59 a.m., just before 11 a.m. When the campaign ends, that's when credit cards will be charged, so be aware of that. It won't be until that point that the money comes out, once the campaign officially ends. Next story, I have some virtual Grand Gathering news. Virtual Grand Gathering set to take place Memorial Day weekend, May 23rd through May 25th. Some of the events they're thinking about doing. They're thinking about doing a Worlds qualifying event, I'm assuming for the World Heavyweight Championship. This may have a draft to it, in which case the draft order will be determined, at least in part, by your Grand Gathering ticket. So if you've bought your Grand Gathering ticket, that will influence a potential draft for the World Championship qualifying event. Now, and we learned this as part of this announcement, there have been less than 50 tickets sold for the Grand Gathering happening later this year. That's a surprise to me. These normally sell out pretty well, but we haven't even reached 50 tickets. So if you're thinking about going to the Grand Gathering, there is a special competitor for the first 50 people who buy their tickets. So you could still get that if you go ahead and buy your ticket. That's still out there. As far as other possible events at the virtual Grand Gathering, there may be a Boss Righty Beatdown. There may be a Create a Competitor tournament. We don't know. They are still working on that. I assume we'll know more in the coming weeks. I'll report on that when I have it. That's where we are right now, though. That's all we know. That's all that's been added. Speaking of virtual Grand Gathering, the SRG Boss is holding a Triad Qualifier tournament. I've talked about that previously. For the people who will be in that tournament, they must have the tournament completed by virtual Grand Gathering. So a deadline to that tournament. Since I just mentioned a tournament potentially for the World Heavyweight Championship for a shot at that, one potentially for a shot at the Triad Championship, there's been an announcement from the general manager of the Underworld Division, Bob Dunn, about the matches for shots at the LFF Underworld Championship. When the last Project Spider update happened, when competitors were moved into the Underworld Division, the players considered most responsible for those competitors' promotions were given matches where if they won those matches, they could get a shot at the LFF Underworld Championship. The matchups have been changed, in part because Matt Nealon, who was in one of those matchups, is now going to be getting a shot at the LFF World Heavyweight Championship. Here are the new matchups. At Origins, live in person, 12 Grap Matt playing as Ricochet will face Ricky Riot as the Master Strategist. The winner will get a future shot at the LFF Underworld Championship. The remaining 3 matches will be streamed online, likely on SRG Universe's Twitch and YouTube channels. 2 of those matches will be Triad matches. We'll have the Harm City Hitman Andrew Meckie as King Kong Dundee versus the Starbreaker Trey Cantrell as Wendigo versus Father Light as Father Light in the first Triad match. In the second Triad match, we'll have Practice Sight as Overdog versus the Centipede John Von Masek as Brett the Metalhead versus Bjorn the Norseman as himself. The final match, standard singles match, Colby Cram as Chris Bay versus HR as Split, the original version of Split. These matches must be streamed with the exception of the first match. They must be played by the end of June 2025. That's actually an extension. Originally, it was going to be all of them by the end of May, with the exception of the one live match. They have been granted an extension until June. We also learned that going forward, from the same announcement, going forward, they're going to look at having around 3 contenders for the LFF Underworld Championship per quarter, so about 12 a year. Those, I would say, were the big stories coming out of Supershow this week. Some other things we have. Supershow app news. The Supershow the Game app has released. It's currently available to be downloaded and played on the Google Play Store. So if you have an Android device, you can get it. The Apple version of the game is still awaiting approval. Initial approval was rejected. They're trying to get that reviewed and available to be downloaded for Apple devices. I haven't seen anyone talk about the app, how it plays. I was part of the beta. I don't know what the final version, the version that's going online, is like. I know the version I played really was missing a lot of art assets, a very stripped down version. I'm looking forward to seeing what it's like. I have an Apple device, so I have to wait for that to play on the Apple device. That's what I have about the app. Convention news. There's been a convention announced for the weekend of May 15th through May 18th. Geekway to the West. This convention is based out of St. Louis, Missouri. Tickets were $70. Unfortunately, they stopped selling tickets for the convention Monday, April 7th. So when this was announced on the 9th, it wasn't possible to buy tickets anymore. You can apparently buy them on the secondary market, but you can't buy them from the convention itself. So if you're planning on going, hopefully you already got your ticket. It's unfortunate timing with the announcement happening after the convention was sold out. I did look at the events for the convention. There were no Super Show events listed last I looked. The last thing I have for you before I talk about the online tournaments and featured matches from this past week is that there were some cards spoiled on Talk of the Universe this past Wednesday. If you want to check those out, I encourage you go to the YouTube, go to Twitch, go to Wednesday's program, watch those. I would say it's in the last half hour that those are spoiled. So if you want to just skip to that part and watch that, you can. There are some very interesting cards they're looking at putting out. I don't have an official release date for those. Some of those may be prize cards that you can only get for winning online events. We will have to see. Speaking of online events, let's talk about the online events, tournaments, featured matches from this past week. I'll start Monday with Monday Night Fights. This was an Underworld Division tournament. 12 players signed up. Group stages, 3 groups, 4 players per group. Top 2 records per group advance to the top cut. 2 players automatically received buys into the semifinals. The remaining 4, paired up in singles matches, had to play their way in. The top 4 end up being in 4th place, playing as AJ Styles, El Hombre Cybernetico. In 3rd place, playing as the original version, 2020, of Theo the Greek Neo, Ricky Reyes. In 2nd place, playing as Father Light, Johnny Eldorado, and the winner, playing as Nyrab, Woken Dragon God, I believe the new version, Brian, wait for it, Schmidt. Congratulations to Brian, wait for it, Schmidt, for winning Monday Night Fights. Tuesday, we had the dojo. Normally, I don't talk about the dojo, but we had a special GOAT Gauntlet event on the dojo run by the GOAT Brock Smith, the general manager of the United States division. Here's how that worked. He brought 8 decks to play on the dojo. 2 of those with World Division competitors, 2 with Underworld Division competitors, the remaining 4 with competitors outside of those divisions. He would use the United States Championship belt as his entrance in his matches. He would face players in the normal dojo process. If he won his match, that deck would be removed from the pool. So if he wins the first match with one of his World Division competitor decks, when he plays the next match, he has to choose a different deck. The first person to beat him gets a shot against Colby Cram. The winner of that match gets a shot at the LFF United States Championship. If the GOAT Brock Smith wins all of his matches, then the SRG boss will be in the match against Colby Cram, where the winner gets a shot at the LFF United States Championship. Players had to use competitors from the United States division. They could not play as the GOAT Brock Smith. They could not play as the Grand Pack version of the Brain Still Standing. The GOAT Gauntlet did not last long. It did not go the distance. The SRG boss is not going to be getting the match against Colby Cram. In the second match of the Gauntlet, the winner, who will be facing Colby Cram for a shot at the United States Championship, fellow Crime Wave member of the SRG Boss's faction, Brian Waitford Schmidt. Congratulations to Brian Waitford Schmidt for getting a shot at the LFF United States Championship. Wednesday, we had one featured match on Big Picture Premium Channel show Ignite. The GOAT Brock Smith, playing as the original version of the Rising Sun, versus Shaggy Shark, playing as Shaggy Shark. Standard singles match goes to Crowd Meter 1. The winner, Shaggy Shark. Congratulations to the Shark for winning Wednesday night. Thursday night, we have Chibi's Thursday Night Fights. This was an open division tournament. All competitors legal subject to 2020 vision. 12 players signed up. Group stages, 3 groups, 4 players per group. Each player plays the other 3 in the group. Top 2 records per group advance to the top cut. Again, there are buys into the semifinals like there were on Monday Night Fights. The 4 players who had to play in the opening round played New York Rules matches. The semifinals match was a Ring of Fire match. The finals match and the third place match were tables matches. Your top 4 were, in 4th place, playing as the Uncaged Beast, Slade Holiday. In 3rd place, playing as the original version of the Mortician, Rowdy Ron. In 2nd place, playing as the original version of Split, HR. And the winner, playing as the original version of Papa Wheelie, the SRG Boss. Congratulations to the SRG Boss for winning Chibi's Thursday Night Fights. Saturday, we have a featured match for the Bluegrass Championship. The challenger, representing KSW, King Pink, playing as the second version of Jokerfish. The champion, Mr. A Wonderful, champion with the Ultimate Fighter. The match goes to crowd meter 2. The winner, still champion, Mr. A Wonderful. Congratulations to Mr. A Wonderful for a successful defense. Later on Saturday night, we have Saturday Night Rumble Steel Strife, hosted by Ron Rumble. 12 players in this tournament, 2 groups, 6 players per group. All of the matches in the group stage were New York Rules matches. Start at crowd meter 1, no disqualifications. Top 2 players per group advance to the top cut. The semifinal matches were steel cage matches. The finals match and the third place match were steel chain matches. Your top 4 were, in 4th place, playing as Commodore Terror Skull, the SRG Boss. In 3rd place, playing as the original version of Theo the Greek Neo, Ricky Riot. In 2nd place, playing as the Wendigo, Loudmouth, Leo Larynx, and your winner, playing as Spencer Vance, the Boatswain's mate, the Italian Bombata. Congratulations to the Italian Bombata for winning Saturday Night Rumble. Sunday, we have Sunday Night Fights. 4 matches on the match card for Sunday Night Fights. The opening 2 matches are the 2 semifinal matches in the Underworld bracket of the Cookies Fortune Tournament. Both of them are tables matches. The first match, we have Colin the Chrononaut as Colin the Chrononaut versus Simple Chuck as Night Terror. The match ends up going to crowd meter 1. The winner at crowd meter 1 advancing to the bracket finals, Colin the Chrononaut. Congratulations to Colin for the victory. The second Underworld bracket semifinal match is between Harvey Luster, playing as the Man from IT, and the GOAT Brock Smith, playing as Numero Uno. This match also goes to crowd meter 1. The winner at crowd meter 1, who will face Colin the Chrononaut in the finals of the bracket, the GOAT Brock Smith. Congratulations to the GOAT for winning your semifinal match, advancing to the finals. The third match of the night was the only championship match on the card, the LFF Trios Championship. The challenger, Ryan Pierce, challenging with Just Business. He got this shot at the championship because when he was part of Just Business and Faction Wars, they won Faction Wars. This is him cashing in the shot from winning Faction Wars. The champion, Arcade Addict Aaron, playing as the trio version of My Girls. This match also goes to crowd meter 1. The winner at crowd meter 1, new champion, Ryan Pierce. Congratulations to Ryan Pierce for becoming the new LFF Trios champion. Honorable mention to Arcade Addict Aaron for being a good champion during his run. After this match, the general manager of the Trios division, the Italian Bombata, announced that the big guy will get a shot at the LFF Trios Championship at the Grand Gathering in September. He's not the next challenger, but he will get a shot later on this year. Congratulations to the big guy for getting that shot. The final match of the evening was one of the 2 semifinal matches in the World Division bracket of the Cookies Fortune tournament. This was also a tables match. The Cheetah as RVD versus Zach Ashley as TVA Commissioner Drew Matson. This match went quite a bit further. It went to crowd meter 3, but with his burial gimmick and playing a burial deck, Zach Ashley really has control of the match for the vast majority of the match. The Cheetah, showing his toughness as a competitor, is able to battle on, push it to crowd meter 3, but in the end, Zach Ashley wins. He moves on to the finals of the bracket. He will face the winner of General Lee Wong versus Ricky Riot. That is the remaining match in the semifinals of the World Division bracket. As far as what's going on next week, we should have Monday Night Fights. We should have Dojo Tuesday night. We should have Thursday night some sort of event. Could be a Boss Righty beatdown. Could be Chibi's Thursday Night Fights. I think the Boss Righty beatdown more likely this week. Championship matches coming up. Wednesday, after Talk of the Universe, there should be an LFF Tag Team Championship. Split and Eddie Fury will challenge champions the Grump and Colby Cram for the championship. There's also going to be a Midwest Coast Tag Team Championship Wednesday. The challengers, the Unionverse team of the Foreman and Jared Bridge. The champions, the New Hotness, the Goat Brock Smith, and Mitchell Manja. That may happen on Big Picture Premium's Twitch channel. Looking even farther ahead, there may be an LFF Old School Championship match either this Sunday or next Sunday. There will not be Sunday Night Fights. This next Sunday, they're taking the week off. I was asked to mention that they branded this week's Sunday Night Fights Rambo Night Fights. I normally don't do that, but Rambo Apocalypse had some nice things to say about the show, so I'll give him that. They branded it this week. Some weeks it's Sunday Night Prize Fights. Sometimes it's Goat Night Fights. This week, Rambo Night Fights. Honorable mention to Rambo Apocalypse for branding the show after himself. With that being said, that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Outlaw Mudcast. I would like to thank all of you for listening, and good day.